What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Battle of the Bands podcast. My name is Brandon Bowie.
And I'm Brandon Virgo.
And so Brandon, what is this?
All right, so this is our very first episode of the Battle of the Bands podcast.
First episode, but
Fourth take.
fourth take.
Yeah.
We literally just took a take of this, of like right here, like in this setting, like maybe like 4 minutes ago. But we had technical difficulties.
Again.
The third time we did this, second time we did this was because of a software issue. That it's kind of the similar thing. It kind of cut off. First time we did this, it was because the air conditioning was on. And
So the sound quality was really bad.
First episode V4.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, man.
All right, so for this episode, guys, we're just going to give you a breakdown of of our goals with this podcast. We're going to give you guys insight to who we are, our taste in music, and just just talk about music, just get things started.
Why would you listen to us, essentially?
For sure.
We're going to answer that and more.
So just to get to know me, I'm Brandon Virgo. I am Mr. B Virgo on Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah, on my Instagram, I do all these music posts where I talk about bands, genres.
Yeah, you're Insta famous.
Not famous, but I'm getting there. All right. So yeah, I just talk about music. I do polls where I ask people to pick which band is better, But yeah, I just love talking about music. I'm super into rock and alternative music. Some of my favorite bands include Green Day, 21 Pilots, Paramore, Strokes, Arctic Monkeys, The Killers. Yeah. So I've been having my Instagram for 2 years now, I want to say. And ever since then, I just been continuing to love what I do on that platform, and just love talking about music and sharing my opinions with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you?
Yeah. So my name is Brandon Bowie. I'm a videographer and photographer in the Orange County area in California, not the Florida one, because
Same.
all the bad headlines come from Florida. So no offense to anyone that lives there. But yeah, you can find me at Visual Poetry Forever on Instagram, as well as Alluri Studios on Instagram. Alluri Studios is more like the production company side. I don't really post anything on there just because it's just there for business purposes and stuff like that. But yeah, I listen to a lot of alternative rock. I would say it's probably my most listened to, pop punk and stuff like that. I love pop punk. That's what I was raised on. But my favorite bands are probably Linkin Park, Green Day. I love the shit out of Blink-182. I've seen them a couple times. But the thing is though about me is that it's not just that. My first concert was Hall & Oates. I love Hall & Oates a lot. I love that era of music. The 80s was amazing. I don't know about you, but from day to day, it can really vary for me. One day I'll be listening to Luke Bryan, and then the next day I'll be listening to
Okay.
Deadmau5 or something like that. You know what I mean?
No.
I
I don't listen to those artists, but that's cool.
Well, no, I don't. You don't have to listen to those artists, but I just mean one day you'll be listening to one thing, and the next day you'll be listening to the other thing.
From time to time, I do listen to other artists of other genres. There'll be times where I listen to Kendrick Lamar, Lauryn Hill, Childish Gambino, and I appreciate some good Beyonce, some Lady Gaga, but mainly I can't go a day without listening to a Green Day song.
Dude, Green Day's awesome. I love Green Day. Billy Joe, amazing. Their influence on the punk community is
incredible.
Insane. Which, for those who don't know, Green Day, I feel like Green Day gets a bad rep for being a fake punk band or something like that.
But I feel like they did one of the most punk things you could ever do as a punk band,
What is that?
Just I feel like the whole thing about being punk is not going with what your audience wants you to do. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, that's true. That is actually pretty true. I never even thought about it that way.
Yeah.
That the audience is trying to label punk into the one category thing, and then
they want them to stay as an underground band.
Yeah,
they want them
just
to do this, to do that, but no.
What is our band? We're not going to listen to you.
Yeah, and I feel like also stylistically and sonically, they're one of the boldest bands out there to do what they do.
I mean, they do vary. Green Day definitely has their their tone, their sound.
They do have their distinct sound, but at the same time, they're pretty versatile. You know.
Yeah, a lot of people discredit them a lot because of they're like, oh, Billy Joe is just power chords.
Like you wouldn't expect a punk band to make an album like Warning, or a song like Good Riddance.
That's true. That's true because I feel like Green Day, Billy Joe has spoken a lot about how, if not the instrumentals, he's always been lyrically very strong, with the exception of a couple albums, which we're going to mention maybe probably in another podcast. But yeah, yeah. So because like he speaks from the heart, you know, like it's like Good Riddance. A lot of people you know as Time of Your Life, the graduation song.
Yeah.
It's about his girlfriend that like left him, you know. So like it's really like a breakup song, but a lot of people use it as
like a wedding song.
It's really ironic. But what I was gonna say is the funny thing about people discrediting Green Day as like a fake punk band is that they're the reason why we have a lot of punk music. Like
they're one of the big reasons why punk has such a huge following.
Yeah, so people were like, I've heard this a lot of times. Like, why don't you listen to like a real punk band like Operation Ivy and Bad Religion and stuff like that? Funny thing about that, I'm an expert because I wrote a freaking Dookie essay in like 45 minutes. It was very good, but when Dookie came out, Green Day, because I don't know if you guys know, Green Day actually came out in the same scene, the same era, like same time frame as like Operation Ivy, which is not Rancid, like Bad Religion, things like that. But until Dookie, everything was really underground because, you know, coming out of the 70s and 80s, like punk scene was like super underground, very political, stuff like that. The crazy thing about that is that when Dookie came out, it really pushed the rest of the punk scene up with it, and it really like broke through the glass ceiling of the punk scene. And it was crazy because like before that it was really looked down upon, and then after they released it, after Dookie came out, Bad Religion was making millions more than they were before. Rancid was making millions more before they did. And also people were buying like green hair dye and wearing like jean jackets and flipping people off in the street and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like honestly, like if you don't like Green Day, that's totally fine. Like we totally respect your opinion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you can't deny that they've had a huge impact.
Yeah,
on the
of course,
music
without
scene.
a doubt.
So so moving on from that, I know we just had a big talk about Green Day. What are some other bands you listen to? Like let's say for like older classic rock bands and maybe some like modern bands.
Older, I would definitely say like I said before, Hall & Oates, my favorite band, one of my favorite bands ever. I also like AC/DC a lot. My friend really got me into them back in like 5th grade, and I've just loved them ever since. Which they just released a song.
Yeah, Shot in the Dark.
It's crazy because I thought Brian Johnson was done because I thought Brian Johnson, the lead singer, he was supposed to retire because I think he was having like hearing problems or something like that. And I think at one point he was just like, man, whatever, forget this. I'm going to die anyways. And then he went on tour with like Guns N' Roses. And I'm guessing is now back with AC/DC. Super cool. I'm guessing it's because of the passing of Malcolm Young. But yeah, I think Malcolm's son plays in the band now. It's either his son or like his nephew or some relative plays in the band for him now, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's really great to like, you know, I feel like that's like the most respectful thing you could do to honor him.
Yeah, than just replacing him with some
Random guy.
Yeah, some random. Because AC/DC is a freaking giant rock band. It's probably the most easy transitional rock band you can get into. It's like Metallica to metal.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. What about other bands you listen to?
Other bands I listen to, I like Linkin Park a lot.
Like older stuff.
Oh shit! Sorry. Older. Oh, here comes Lady. Lady, don't hit the tripod. So older bands, I like Led Zepp. Led Zepp is really good.
Same.
Oh, I like The Who. The Who's really good. Queen, of course. Queen is fantastic.
Freddie
I
Mercury's
feel like I
probably the
don't.
best frontman ever to have
I
existed.
feel like I don't even have to mention it. Like
Yeah.
it's just assumed. You know, Queen is just good.
Fleetwood Mac.
Dude, oh my God, Fleetwood
Mac is
Mac.
just
How could I
amazing.
forget? Fleetwood
Yeah.
Mac is fantastic.
Stevie Nicks, one of the best front women of rock.
Yeah, I mentioned this in the last take. I love that scene in School of Rock where Mr. Schneebly, which I met.
Schneebly.
I met him at Disney. He's a really cool guy. He looked homeless when I met him, but I think it's because it's for a role. But I love the scene where they're in the bar with the principal, and he gets her drunk to like get them like to go on a school trip
Yeah,
together.
to approve the field trip.
But like, thinking back on it, I don't think that would fly
No way.
in like today's standards.
That dude's gonna get fired.
That's definitely taking advantage of somebody.
Yeah. See,
What about you though? What about you for older
yeah.
stuff?
So yeah, I mean, I pretty much love all those older rock bands that you brought up. See, when it comes to like modern bands, I really love Wolf Alice. They're probably like my favorite band to listen to right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're very versatile. They do stuff like psychedelic rock, grunge, punk, Riot Girl. It's just pretty amazing to see like, you know, such like a band do this sort of like revival of rock and bring it in so many ways. Let's see other bands. I really like I Don't Know How But They Found Me. They're a really cool musical duo.
Yeah, they
do,
just
like,
won your what category did they win?
album cover of the year.
Album cover of the year.
Yeah, they
Which
shared
was
with-
really, I was very surprised, and it was by a lot too. It was probably by like 50%.
That's because the band shared my post on their story.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is very true. And then I think that got you your most liked post at the time. At the time
I
of
cried.
recording.
but yeah, they're super cool. They do this like 80s electronic rock alternative.
So wait. How did you find out? Like you saw that they saw it, or did they like your post?
I saw that they liked my post.
So Dallin and the band Instagram.
Well, just the band Instagram, like my first post, the one that got the most likes.
Okay.
On the winter post, Dallin liked it. But yeah, when I saw that like the band liked my post when they was announcing the nominees, I clicked on the profile and I was like, oh, let me check out the story. And I saw that they shared my story. Then they showed my post on their story. I was just like flustered with like emotions. I was like, oh man,
Big
this is
fanboy moment right there.
Yeah.
That's like the time when you posted the Interrupters and Amy Interrupter.
Yeah, she liked it and she commented on my post. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, it was really cool.
Dude, I would have flipped out. I love the Interrupters, dude. I love them. I love ska. Ska is fantastic. For those
Super
who don't
fun
listen
to
to
jam
ska,
out to.
listen to ska because ska is a dying genre and we need to revive it. There's actually one guy that's reviving ska. I don't know if you listen to ska, but there's one guy who's reviving ska right
Is the guy
now.
on YouTube?
Huh?
Is the guy on YouTube?
Yeah. Ska2 Network is this really cool, dude, and he makes everything himself. I'm pretty sure of it. And he does it in his bedroom, and he does like all these covers. Like the most prominent one I remember was probably Firefly's ska cover. It's amazing.
I seen his basket case one. That one was pretty fun.
Yeah, he's just like dancing around his room with his
Yeah.
fucking trombone and
Super talented dude.
Yeah, crazy. I love seeing stuff like that. But he's part of like the ska revival. Because they just did this thing called Ska Against Racism, which is a thing they used to do before, but they're bringing it back. It's really cool. A good time to do it, by the way.
Yeah, that's great. That's incredible.
So him and a bunch of other artists made a bunch of songs that are contributing to that, and it's like under what's it called, Bandcamp, where like you pay whatever you want to, and you get. I think it's Bandcamp. I would look it up. I'll link it below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Spotify, don't look below. There's nothing there. There's just other episodes to listen to. So I would just look it up on your own time. But it's under a Bandcamp, and you can basically donate whatever you want, and it helps programs against racism and stuff like that. It's really cool, really dope.
A band you keep mentioning every take. A band that we both freaking love, Catfish and the Bottlemen.
Oh, dude, Catfish and the Bottlemen, fantastic band.
Yeah, I saw them live for the very first time, and I didn't even know who they were. They opened up for Green Day, and it was an incredible first introduction to the band. I was just so amazed by their performances.
Dude, I want to see them live really bad. I've only seen like performances of theirs like on like Tea in the Park and stuff like that. Glastonbury.
Great showmanship.
Yeah, I mean Van is a fantastic frontman. I've seen episodes. I've seen live performances where he's like strumming so hard and so into it that he's like bleeding from his hand. It's crazy, and he like really knows how to like command the crowd
Yeah,
for sure.
natural born front man.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think? I've asked this in every take as well.
Yeah.
But what is a band that you think that everyone should know, like that, like almost nobody knows?
Yeah, so and I brought this up again, so in the other takes, but I used to be a drummer of a metal band when I was in 6th grade. I was 12.
Do you know what's hilarious about the story? It's probably very surprising to everybody listening, but for me, I feel like I'm like in Groundhog Day right now. Like, you
Just,
know,
like, going this over and over again.
I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
really, Brandon? You were a drummer
I
in a
played
band?
drums. I was a terrible drummer, but I still played drums. We were called Undefeated Identity. But the reason why I'm bringing them up is because the lead singer of our band, my good friend Johnny, he's actually the drummer of this band that I've been checking out called Joy Noise. They're really cool if you're into like surf punk music. Highly recommend checking them out. They just did a cover of St. James Infirmary Blues. I've just been really impressed. I'm so happy to see Johnny still continue his career as a musician. Really happy for you, dude, if you're checking this out.
Another, by the way, what was your band's name?
I don't want to say it again.
No, I mean it's already out there.
Undefeated Identity.
Undefeated Identity sounds like
Please do not look it up.
It sounds like something that would be like you'd find on like a shirt in Hot Topic or something like that. You're like, oh, cool. They must be in like a small scene or something like that.
We were 12.
Good
Just a
name,
reminder,
though.
we were 12.
Good name though. For me, I've been kind of flipping back and forth between bands, but I'll mention the other ones later. Royal Jag is definitely a band that deserves to be seen more. Royal Jag is this band that I saw a couple years ago. They were opening for my buddy Troy for his band called Sleep State at the time. And they have such this like a tight sound, dude. It's like a 80s synth pop alternative kind of thing. Really dope. It's a 3-piece band. 2 of them are brothers and they're twins and Filipino. Filipinos are talented at freaking everything.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
not talented. I'm not Filipino.
I'm not Filipino either.
You are Filipino.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
the funny
Filipino.
thing. Brandon is Filipino. That one. I'm not, but I'm probably twice as Filipino as you are. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely behave more Filipino than I do.
It's probably because my stepdad is Filipino, so I get a lot of that from that. But yeah, dude. They Royal Jag, they call it like chameleon pop, but if you listen to it, it makes sense.
I mean, well, speaking of Filipino, I mean, if you guys want, the only Filipino artist, musician that I listen to right now is BOTB. She's super cool.
I've literally never heard that band.
BOTB. She's a solo artist.
Okay.
She's really cool. She's a British Filipino artist. Yeah, she's like doing this, like her own version of like 90s pop rock. It's like, I read this one article. They called it bubble grunge. I feel like that's like a great.
I don't even know what it sounds like, but that sounds cool.
Yeah, like it's really cool. I really like checking her music out. She just released her new album, Fake Up Flowers, and like, it's very reminiscent of like the Smashing Pumpkins. If you're really into Smashing Pumpkins, I definitely recommend checking out her music. It reminds me of like, especially the Siamese Dreams era. Like, I love it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely check her out.
Definitely kind of interested to see what she's going to do in the future. Speaking of which, Brandon, what are we going to do in the future with this podcast?
Yes. So our goal with this podcast is just basically to just engage with you guys and just find another way to like branch out on other platforms to get us to talk about music and bands that we love. You know, we kind of want this to be like sort of like a fun little like debate where people argue, you know, which band is better and why. And honestly, like we could like, I feel like this could be really fun and a great way to get people to start conversations about music, and at the same time, just have fun, share what they love.
Yeah, because ideally for us, it's not going to be just the two of us every episode. Let's get that clear. It's most likely going to be a 4-piece the most of the time. But I think my favorite, like the best setup for us is going to be, well, I guess it depends what we're doing. But if we're doing like a battle of the bands, like the debate kind of thing, then a 6-piece podcast would be perfect. 4 people arguing it out on like their bands and what they like and stuff like that, and then we're kind of just in the middle. We're kind of like the moderators and stuff like that.
Like judges.
Yeah, kind of like judges.
You won.
Game show hosts, whatever you want to say.
You sucked.
Speaking of which, Brandon, you mentioned this before in the past on another take that doesn't exist. You said it would be really cool to do like a game show. Or
Yeah,
something
honestly,
like that.
it'd be so fun if we were like judges. Really cool, like deciding who the winner is.
Oh, dude, if we had like a set and everything too,
Yeah.
that would be sick.
Like my vote's for them. My vote's for them.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I think also I mentioned before to you, like it'd be really cool to do like on YouTube, like video essay segments on albums and their influence and stuff like that. That'd be super dope.
Yeah, and like it'd be really cool if we do like other than debates, just like other games in general. Just like games surrounding music. And speaking of which, like I know we're really well versed in rock and alternative music, but we are open to talking about other genres with you guys. If you want to talk about a certain rapper or like a pop diva, or a country star, we're open to you guys. We just love to. We would love for you guys to reach out to us. We are on Instagram. Feel free to message us on our personal accounts or on our main account, Battle of the Bands podcast.
Yeah, of course. We're always open to. We're always open to answer any questions. Which also segueing into that, at the end of every podcast, we're going to have a Q&A segment, where the way you guys can participate in that is we're going to be opening up Patreon. Actually, it's already up. So I would go check that out. It's in our links on our profile. And the reason why we're doing that is because, we want to make a good podcast for you guys. We're going to do all these things. We're going to do like the shows, the game shows, and we want to have guests on. And, doing all that requires like us to supply equipment and things like that. And God forbid if anything goes wrong, like let's say like a cable breaks or anything like that. Even if you guys donate like $1, like to you guys, it doesn't seem like, oh, it's not going to do anything for them. But if a cable breaks, we'll be like, oh, shoot, we have a few dollars from Patreon. Let's use that to fix the cable so we can keep the podcast going, Yeah,
anything you guys donate to us, we greatly appreciate it. And, we do give back. We do offer different rewards for each different tier that you guys sign up for, where you donate to us. We get things where you get to participate in the Q&As. You get to answer some questions, do the Q&A, and...
One of the tiers even lets you participate in the podcast, which is super cool. Obviously, you're not going to be like a recurring character. I mean, who knows? Maybe they will be. Maybe they'll be a good fit. But occasionally, we'll bring you on the podcast. We'll ask for input on a couple things, and either over the phone or if you live close enough, maybe in person. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But yeah, the Patreon, even like you don't. This doesn't change the fact that all of our stuff is going to be and always will be free. It's just kind of like asking for your help. Maybe instead of buying that soap holder from Target or, the extra, like upgrading from a medium to a large when you're at McDonald's or whatever, donate that to us. We would really appreciate it. Or even just sharing. Like sharing our stuff is more than we could ever ask for alone. But yeah, do you have anything else to say, Brandon?
I feel like we should mention how we know each other. I forgot about that.
Oh shoot, that's right. I completely forgot about that. Sorry, I'm a little wonky from all these takes that don't exist anymore.
It's totally fine. But let's talk about how we know each other.
I could have sworn we already said that. Well, I guess not.
So, before all this COVID stuff happened, we've known each other for like a few years now. I want to say it's like been 3 years. Brandon and I used to be coworkers, at this one place in downtown Disney called Splitsville.
Yep.
It's a restaurant and a bowling alley. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool. It's like Top Golf, but like for bowling.
Yeah.
That place is a freaking cash cow, let me tell you. I was a server there. I mean, obviously I started as a host, but when I was a server there, it was ridiculous. You spend like $20 on a cheeseburger with fries, and you don't even get a drink with that. So when you get like a bunch of tables that are spending that kind of money, plus alcohol, it's a pretty good place to be as a server. But if you're a guest, you know, it's a little expensive, not gonna lie, but it's Disney, so you know what you're getting into when you step on property.
But yeah, when we met, because, well, first of all, the reason why we started talking to each other because my brother started working there before me.
Mm-hmm.
So he got to know Brandon a little bit.
Yeah.
And so my very first day of working there, Brandon goes up to me. He's all like, "Hey, what's up? So I heard you like Back to the Future." I was like, "Heck yeah, I do." Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Your name's Brandon?" I was like, "Yeah."
We're both Asian Brandons of like Back to the Future.
And then like weeks, like going to like a few weeks into working with each other, I don't know how, but I just brought up Green Day. And then you talked about how you have like Rev Rad on vinyl.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way, you love Green Day too? I was like, no freaking way.
And then we just found out we like the same music essentially.
Yeah, like it's crazy how like similar we are to each other.
Yeah, and then I found out that you were gonna start this Instagram thing and you were gonna start posting up music, and I started following you. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool stuff. And then you started doing the bracket tournaments, and that's when you really blew up.
Yeah.
Because from like a Instagram, like social media standpoint, it's a super smart idea because you get all the engagement in the world. So you started jumping up from like, well, actually, I pitched the idea for the podcast really early on.
Yeah, you're the one that started the podcast idea.
I was like, dude, you probably had like 200, 300 followers. Like, dude, we got to start a podcast. It's gonna be sick. And then you jumped from like 300 to 600, and then 600 to 800.
Yeah, now I'm at
1,300.
Yeah, now I'm at 1,300.
And then the more along as you went in followers, I kept like, okay, we really got to start the podcast now.
Yeah.
And here we are. We're doing it for the 4th time. So it goes to show how much we want to do. Also, another reason to support us on Patreon, so we don't have to do it 4 times.
Yeah.
So we can get good
avoid all these
equipment.
technical difficulties.
Dude, yeah, it's like, oh, why does the video keep cutting out? Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up our first episode of the podcast.
Yeah, man, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for this thing. Be sure to follow us.
Yeah,
on
Mr.
everything.
B Virgo
and Visual Poetry Forever on Instagram. But most importantly, hit subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and hit follow if you're listening to this on Spotify or whatever platform you listen
yeah,
to
and
this
then
on.
feel free to message us. You can message us you could DM us on our personal Instagram accounts.
Or just drop a comment down below if you're on YouTube.
Yeah, or message our Battle of the Bands podcast Instagram account. And we also have an email account as well, battleofthebandspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you're shy and just want to message us that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, that just wraps it up. Tune in next week.
Next time. Who knows?
Next time for the next podcast.
All right. Thank you guys so much for checking us out.
Bye.
All right. Bye.